Welcome to a discussion on open source software and other sorts of software. To begin, we got to talk about what open source software is. And basically what it means is that the code, so think of a computer programmer sitting down and writing code for a program, that code is freely available. Anybody can access it and they can modify it if they want. Not only that, the actual program itself is freely distributed, so even if you're not into computer programming, you have free software that you can use. Typically, this is done in a collaborative effort. You've probably heard the term crowdsourcing. Well, that just means that a bunch of people are working together on the project. And for a big project, my example here is OpenOffice, you typically get regular upgrades, although you might not have quite the same support that you would with commercial software. So my example, OpenOffice, if you didn't know better, you might think you're looking at an older version of Microsoft Word right here. This is inside Microsoft Office. They have a word processing program. They also have a spreadsheet, presentation, drawing program, a database program. So it really works a lot like Microsoft Office. And I can do a lot of things like I can type a document just like I would in Word. I can change that if I don't want it bold. I can make the font bigger or smaller. I can center it. It really operates just like any word processing program. One of the nice features here, besides it just being free, is I can save it as default would be as the open document type, but I can even save it as a Microsoft Word document. So if I save it as a Word document, I will replace that. We'll keep that current format. Now notice if I go, get to my desktop here, if I go and open that document, notice I'm opening it in Microsoft Word now, it's the same document. So it's mostly compatible. Another type of software that you'll hear about is freeware. We aren't going to spend really any time with that, but freeware is just free software. Sometimes they ask for a voluntary donation, but generally it's one person who creates it. It's a fairly simple program and doesn't do a whole lot, and of course you don't get a whole lot of support for it. So freeware exists. Some of it's useful, but we aren't going to spend a whole lot of time with that. The other major area then, of course, is commercial software. Think Microsoft. They're trying to make a profit. So it's not free. But because with the money you pay, you also get regular upgrades, so you have the most up-to-date software, and you get support. So if you've got to call someone at 3 in the morning, you might be able to talk to somebody in India and get a little bit of support. Of course, because it's commercially produced, you can't modify it. They don't give you the code. They don't want anybody copying the code. It's their proprietary information. So what are the pros and the cons? Well, open source software, it's free. You can modify it, although most of us probably don't. You do get a lot of upgrades, but you probably don't get quite the same amount of support as you would with commercial software. There are limited features. It's not quite as robust a program as the Microsoft in our instance, but it can be pretty similar. And as you saw, it is often compatible with whatever the industry standard is, but not always 100%. And you'd see it with some sort of formatting things. Sometimes they get messed up. Of course, if you're getting commercial, you're getting what everybody is expected to have and everybody uses. Our last thing then is Google Documents, and this is what we're going to play around with in class a little bit. It's probably the future of what computing will be. It's cloud computing, and what that really means then, if you go to your Gmail and then go to your documents up here, when you're creating this document in Google Docs, you're saving it on Google's servers. So if this computer that I'm working on right now crashes, it doesn't really matter because I'll be able to access it anywhere I have internet. Now, of course, the downside is I have to have internet, but as long as I do, I can access it. And I can create a new document, I can create a presentation, a spreadsheet, or I can upload something I've already had. So let's do that a second. You click on this little up arrow, files. Let's go find that untitled. There we go. And we can upload it, we convert it to Google Docs format so we can edit it. And give it a second here. Okay, it's been uploaded, so now it's in my documents here. I can open it, and now I can edit this. So I can keep working on my document. And notice, while I did that, it automatically saved. All changes get saved right away. So that's fairly nice. I can do most of the things that I normally do in Microsoft Word as well, changing font size, centering, etc. I can add tables, but there aren't quite as many features here. So again, you're limited in some of your features, but the big additional feature that you have here that with cloud computing that you don't have with Microsoft or OpenOffice is that you can share this. So this is what you guys are going to end up doing with that Tell Me About Yourself paper. You're going to share it with tstapert@grchristian.org. And when you do that, what that allows then is for me to come in and look at your paper. I could even edit it, or you could limit that to just being able to comment on it or just being able to view it. And, and so now I can actually work on a document with you. You can share this document with your classmates. If you were in a group and had a research paper, but you live on opposite ends of town, you could work on it together at the same time. And if we were both logged into this right now, as I type, it'll show up on the other person's screen, and as the other person types, it shows right up on my screen. And there's even a place over here on the right-hand side where we'd be able to chat with each other. So, I mean, the big downsides are that you don't have quite as many features, and you do have to have an internet connection. But if you can live with that, this makes a great way to work with a group, with a partner on a project, on a paper, or on a presentation, and you don't actually have to be sitting in the same room.